recorded. Okay, this is our I used to call it our Trello training, but this is going to be our tools and program training, because I've actually started to move away from Trello and over to ClickUp. And some of you may have heard or seen that if you've been using the Trello funnels before. So I kind of wanted to walk through what they are, and they're still free. You can still use them for free over in ClickUp, but I want to walk through the process, because a lot of the people that I work with in the essential oil land are looking for ways to support their team and keep track of all the people, prospects, customers, builders, and make sure that nobody is lost. So tell me, who's already using the funnels? Are you already using them, or are you brand new, just kind of thinking about it, wanting to know what they're all about? Where is everybody at right now with them?
I've just been playing around with them, and just because I had your paper from a year ago, and they had a hard time moving my people all into it. So I'm stuck in the middle, wanting really badly to use it, but stuck in the middle. Okay, awesome. And then Amy is brand new. Okay, awesome. So I will kind of walk you through a little bit about how, so if are you wanting to stay in Trello then, Jolene, or are you thinking that you may want to move over to ClickUp? Oh, you're on mute. I've never heard of ClickUp before, so I'm open to doing this. Okay, cool. So maybe what I'll do is first I'll introduce myself and I'll explain why I moved from Trello to ClickUp. So I've been in the essential oil world probably since 2010. I started as an assistant to Patrick and Elise Shedeby, who are now Triple Diamonds, and I was working with them. And then I actually started working with the Presidential Diamond, and I worked with her for many years. And after that, several years ago, I started my own business, and I stopped being an assistant, and I have now been doing a lot of business coaching, working with hundreds and hundreds of essential oil leaders, both to either help them to find and train their assistants, or to coach them in their business, to help them set up systems. So those are kind of like the things that I love the most: systems, assistance, and working with people with coaching. And these are some of the questions that I get the most are: what tools will support my business? What will help me to make sure that my customers are taken care of? And what are the options? What things are even out there? What's working for other leaders? So that's sort of the intention of this call, is I want to show you some of the things that I've seen work really well for people. And I'm just going to do a few tutorials so that you can take what you want from them and run with it. And if you have questions on, if you are staying with Trello, I'm happy to pull up Trello and give some tutorials and answer questions there. Or if you're wanting to move to ClickUp, just here to kind of see what's available. We'll help you wherever you are. So the main idea was, with Trello, you can move people along in this funnel, and I'll show you how I've morphed it into a funnel here in ClickUp, because it's basically the exact same thing. And for those that don't even know what I'm talking about, I will just share my screen so that you can see. All right, so here is ClickUp. And the main idea is that you're dragging your people along this process, and you can just drag everybody along. So the steps up here are the things you want them to experience. This is the prospect funnel. So let's just call this person Susan. And this is your prospect, Susan, who is interested in the oils. And you can just drag Susan along in the entire process, and you can see where she is and what she needs. And I really love, I think that whatever you do, however you decide to organize your business, I think that it makes a lot of sense to make sure that each person is cared for, right? And that they're all following specific steps to be successful. And so what we've done is we filled up this template that you need to still customize on your own, but it includes a lot of resources and things that will help you to get started supporting these people, and then you can customize the process yourself. So in this funnel, the main idea is that Susan is one of your prospects, and the next step is make an initial contact. In the resource tabs, I've included a lot of the scripts and things that you can use to make that step successful, and you can click in here and customize them. So if you don't like this script, then you can customize it. A lot of these things are taken from the Back to Basics, and some are taken from other places and other people. So the cool thing is you don't have to use what other people are using. This is just a launching pad to get you going so that you can then fill it in with your own content. So let's say that now you want to send a sample. Again, I've included a lot of resources and things here that you can use that I know people are always asking me, what do people send when they send samples? I've included a lot of different ideas and things that you can include should you decide to. And so again, you can fill it in with your own resources and delete the things that aren't helpful. We are basically moving Susan along so you can see all the things that she needs to lead her to enrollment. Now, in the very end here, when she decides to become a customer, now we're going to move her to our customer funnel. And we're actually in the middle of making over that funnel. So I'll show you a little bit about what it looks like right now. But it's awesome because you're ensuring that no one is lost. So I like to put it in the open when it says, where do you want to move this person? I put them in open, and I'll show you what that looks like when we drop over to that funnel. So here is Susan here in just a second. She'll drop over here. Actually, I think I may have put her in the other funnel because I have two customer ones, but just for the sake of being quick, I'll show you what this looks like. This is the template card that I created for each customer. And so what you can do is each person, you can come in here and type in the things that that you want them to know about them. And this template, because it's a custom field, when you import your contacts, it will drag in these custom fields if you use this template. And the awesome thing is you just map the fields from your back office spreadsheet to these fields, and they will drop in automatically rather than having to do everybody individually. So you would map the entry date that comes out on your back office report to enrollment date, and so on and so forth. Not all of these things obviously come in the back office report. The back office report will only give you their email, their address, depending on where you get the back office report, it might include their phone number. It will include their enrollments, their ID number, and their address, and then a couple of additional things. But you can then come in here and keep track of all the things you want to with this customer. So all the pre-enrollment tasks, did you share a sample? If you did, then you can click this and wait till the next step. Once you've shared the sample, then your next step is to make sure that you followed up with them and you've invited them to a class and whatnot. And you can customize all of these custom fields by clicking add or edit option and either deleting one, editing it, or adding an entirely new option. So everything is totally customizable to you and how you like to care for your team. And then there's all these different things that a lot of people do with their customers, whether they're adding them to their Facebook community or dropping them in something like Oil Camp or Continuing Ed. And if you don't do Oil Camp or Continuing Ed, then you can obviously delete that stuff as well. And so the main idea is just to customize this first before you bring people in and make sure that your process is how you want it to be. So when I'm coaching people and helping them to develop their specific process for their team, I always start with a question. We just pull up a Google Doc and I say, if you had an ideal world, what would you love your customers to experience from the moment they enrolled? And we just start brainstorming everything that they want them to experience. Is that, do you want them to get a welcome email? Do you want them to get dropped into your text message series? Are you going to drop something in the mail? What do you want them to experience? And not just right away, but also in a month from now, in 3 months from now, in a year from now. And so we kind of map that out together. And then from that map, then we come in here and we customize their funnel for them so that it's how they want it to be and how they specifically support their team. Oh, look, Susan dropped in here. So Susan, if she is in this column, she needs the welcome tasks done. So here's the checklist of all the things that need to happen for if this was the funnel that you'd created, all the things that you want Susan to experience right when she enrolls. Let's first add her to welcome campaign. The text, the email, if you do postcards, you can do that. And again, by the way, I'm rattling off all these things, but if you're like, I don't do any of those, I maybe do one, that's fine. Like, you don't have to do all of these. These are just to get you started with some ideas of what I see a lot of people doing. Not everybody's doing all of them. Just come up with what you want to do to support your people. And then we'd customize this checklist for you, or you can customize it. And then so once that all of those checklists have been done, then you move Susan to the next column. And then here's where you can start creating what you want them to experience. Do you have something you want them to do 2 weeks out? Are you going to send them another email? Are you going to invite them to a wellness consult or add them to Oil Camp? Whatever it is that you do, customize these checklists according.
to those steps. We're still kind of finishing this out, but it's very, very custom. And so we've filled in like the Trello one, and we still have the other ones. We brought in all the Trello funnels here into ClickUp, so they're exactly the same. But this is the one that's different than the one in Trello, where we haven't included all the resources, but we're showing you very simply, without all the overwhelm of all the content that we've dropped in, of what it could look like for you, and then how easy it is to customize. And then you can bring in your own scripts and funnels and all the things that you want to do. But the things that I would recommend as far as supporting your customers is coming up with that welcome list. What are the things that you want them to do and experience right when they enroll? So the moment they enroll, this is the set of things we're going to do. And some of the things that I've seen be most effective are to drop them in like your texting campaign if you use a texting service. A lot of popular ones right now are Project Broadcast, Shout, and ManyChat. Those are probably the 3 most popular ones that I'm seeing people use currently. And they link them with something called Essential Connection Co. And if you haven't heard about Essential Connection Co., these Diamonds and doTERRA got together and created this amazing company where they create scripts and images that you can drop into any texting platform you like. So here's an example of what some of them are. So let's say that you wanted the moment somebody enrolled to get a welcome campaign. They actually have in their content library, they have a welcome, and I believe it's actually in classes. Oils Made Easy, wellness programs, relief class. Actually, it must be over in here in their business. But they have all these different scripts that you can drop into your Project Broadcast, or whatever texting service you want. Oh, new member welcome. So you would drop them into this, you would put these scripts into your texting platform, drop that email or that phone number into that platform, and then suddenly they'll start getting these texting scripts they're spread out over several days. So what that looks like is on day 1, they might get, yay, you're part of our new our community. Here's everything that you need to know. For the next 7 days, you're going to get 1 message from me a day that gives you some tips to get started with your oils. And so you can see, if you look closely, that one of them is all about safety tips. One is about diluting. One is about the loyalty rewards, and there's a whole bunch more, but you can customize them as well, customize the scripts. But that means it's already done. It just goes for you the moment that you drop them into your texting platform of choice. And they have all of these different options. So if that's something that you would find helpful, you can totally set that up, or we can help you set that up as well if that's something that you would find helpful. A lot of people also take these things and drop them in a tool called ManyChat. And ManyChat, I'm going to do an incognito window just because I'm logged in. But ManyChat is this incredible service that actually links with your social media. So it does the same thing, only on the social media side. So you would take your ECC scripts, drop them into your ManyChat, and let's say that you're going live on Instagram and you're talking about essential oils and emotional wellness. Then you can say, message me, DM me the word mood, and you'll get my top 3 tips for supporting your mood naturally with essential oils. And they would suddenly in their DM get an instant message from you the moment they messaged you the word mood with that script, which is so awesome. And you can include links and all sorts of things, but it doesn't just stay with DMs, it can also do texting as well. So if that's something that you're looking for, I've seen this be really effective, and we do a lot of setup for this as well for those that are looking for it. Okay, so that is that. But the main idea with ECC is that you can drop it in any texting platform that you want. So I've seen those be really effective as part of your welcome process to get people onboarded and get the resources they need, because so many people enroll and they don't really get all the support that they need to continue purchasing regularly and to feel like they feel confident with their oils. So whatever you do, set something up in place that nurtures your people so that they don't just let their oils sit on their shelf once they arrive. The other things that I've seen be really effective are email campaigns. Maybe it's an email series that's very similar. You set up a 7-day email series that says, yay, welcome to our community. Here's everything you need to know. And it's the same kind of content that you might send them in a text message, but in email format. You might send them some postcards. If you use something like Mailbox Power, and I'll show you what that looks like, Mailbox Power, they actually have this incredible platform. You can spend $9 to $50 a month on this, but what it is, it's a subscription to a postcard service where you can upload all of your postcards, and again, say the moment that somebody enrolls, I'm going to drop them into my Mailbox Power, and you already have set up your 12 campaigns, what you want them to receive once a month for the next 12 months. So maybe month 1, it's all about mind and mood, or month 2, it's all about their account, and month 3, it's all about cleaning and detoxing. You can change it however you want and create, and you upload your own postcards. But the cool thing is that if you set up a campaign and drop somebody in it, it will go out to them automatically without you having to do anything, as long as you're continuing to pay for the service, which is so cool. So it's just like the auto text, the auto emails, that you just set it up and go. I know that everybody's at a different space in your business, so I really want to stress that you do not have to do all of these things to be successful in your business. You find one thing and start with it and master it, and see how it works for you. And then when you're ready, bring on the next thing. But these are not necessary, but I know that a lot of people are looking for additional ways that can be automated, where they can set it up once, but it still takes care of their people. And these are some of those options. Now, if you're not in a financial place to invest in all these programs, then you can do some of these on your own as well without having to do them through other programs. It just takes a little bit more work, of course, until you're ready. Okay, so those are some of the main things. Now let's jump away from the customer process for a second and look at the builder funnel. The builder funnel is broken up into 2 parts. So the first part, all the way up until where it says week 1, is before they've decided to build. So let's say, again, Susan has decided to build. We're going to drag her along. The first step that I've included, but you can change it on your own, is, has she had the invite to build? If so, or if you need to invite her, then I've included all of Elisa's scripts that you can use and customize on your own, and her tips on that, how to make that conversation successful. Once you've had the invite to build, it's recommended that you maybe send like a nurturing email of some kind, a follow-up email that says, it was so great to talk with you today. Here are some additional resources you can look into. And we've compiled that email for you, so you can just copy and paste it wherever you want to send it, with the videos that we like to send. And you have a 48-hour follow-up and maybe another nurturing email. And again, that includes all of we actually include the email here for you, so you can just copy and paste or customize your own. And then once they have decided to build, this is where it kind of gets juicy. So over in week 1, basically week 1 through week 12, we've mapped out what it looks like, what your agenda is going to be when you bring on this new person that's decided to build. Here's your checklist of all of the things that you want them to experience or to talk about during that weekly call. We recommend that you set up a weekly call at least for 8 weeks or so with your new builders, to orient them to the business and to give them the resources that they need one-on-one. Or if you bring in a lot of builders at once, then do this as a group, but everybody might be coming in at different times. So here's an idea, and you can customize this. And once you've done it, you can just check it off for each person. And then next week, you can come back and see, okay, what do we need to talk about on week 2? And it's very similar. Now we're going to talk about ordering samples, and here's the mentor calls to go listen to. Let's plan on your launch dates. When are we going to start hosting classes? You know, all of those different things to kind of get them supported and ready to do this on their own. Because if you can invest this time up front, they will be better equipped to do this on their own without you going forward, instead of you having to hold their hand the whole way. And so then you just bring her along the whole way and until she's finished all of those weeks. So I've kind of outlined that for you, and I won't go over every single step, but I'll share all of these links with you, because I know if you've downloaded the Trello funnels, you have those, but you don't have the ClickUp funnels. So we'll make sure that you have all of these as well. Some of the other things that we brought over from Trello, we've brought over this task list. And this is very much just a rough draft, like an idea of what a task list could look like for you or an assistant or both. But we filled it in with a bunch of different ideas of tasks and how you might organize it yourself. So the main thing to know about ClickUp, is there is a freemium option. So you can do a lot of this on the free version of ClickUp. It's organized in, over here, these are called spaces. In the free version of ClickUp, you can have 3 spaces. and I'm obviously paying for it. So I have a lot of different spaces that are considered larger folders that I can organize things within. But you would be fine with 3 spaces. And within that space, you can have different folders. Like I have this EO templates folder, and I have different lists. In Trello, they were called boards. Here they're called lists. So this is a list, and you can customize each of these statuses where it says as needed, daily, weekly, by clicking on these 3 little dots and click manage statuses. And you can change them to be whatever you want so that it works how you want it to work. This is what I've included, like a brain dump wish list, as needed, monthly, daily, regular tasks. Because here's what happens. A lot of people that I work with feel like they have sticky notes and notes on their phones and things all over the place. And so the goal that I try to create is creating a simple way for you to manage your task list so that you can stay on track with the things that you need to be doing and focused on, because we're all so busy and things are there's just so much going on. It does have a phone app, so you can download ClickUp and even go do all this on the go. But the main idea is that you have this brain dump section. Actually, let me get back down here. You have this brain dump section all the way down here. So you can brain dump all the things that you would love to do eventually. You're not saying you're going to do them today, but you don't want to lose these ideas. And then when you're ready to start working on them, you can drag it up here into active projects. Or if you have recurring activities that you do every single day, week, or month, you can drop them into these columns as well. You can see that you can add different assignees. If you were to add team members, for some of the recurring ones, I added how frequently they recur, but you can change that and do it whatever day you want. But to actually make it reoccur, so it repopulates on your sheet every single day or week, you would click this little calendar button and you would choose, actually that's not a good example because that one's already recurring. You can choose set recurring and recur forever. And then I want this to happen daily. You'll notice that it includes weekends. So if you want to skip weekends, select that option. And when you cross it off, this is asking you, where do you want it to update the status to? And then you would say, I want this to show back up in my daily column. So if I cross it off today, it will still show up tomorrow because it's a daily task. So that's how you kind of change the due dates. And I love this where you can say, this is urgent. This is one of the things I need to do right away. If you have a team or someone that you're working with, I love this where they can check it's in progress, I'm working on it right now, or it needs your review, Megan, go check it out, or it's done. To check it off as done, you can either archive it by clicking here, or you can just select done, but then it will be filled with a bunch of done things. So eventually you'll want to archive the ones that are finished. So that's a little bit about navigating ClickUp and making it work for you. I also have included a master calendar from the company. This is totally, nothing is set in stone, but a lot of people ask me, what are the regular events that happen in the company every month? And we've grabbed a lot of them from the website and dropped them in here. So generally, so let's see, what is this? This is March. There's usually leadership, which we know is coming up on March 24th, spring tours, which we know are happening, Diamond Club, different conventions. Generally in April, there's usually a BOGO. We don't ever usually know when, but it's often sometime after leadership. And so I've included these sort of regular tasks to give you an idea of what to prepare for. Everything from Diamond Club to incentive trip qualifications and Silver Club. And the dates are all fluid and flexible, of course, because they may change onto Tara's end, but they aren't like linked directly here. So you'll want to go and verify actual dates and such. But we try to fill it in so that you could get a year view of what often happens in the company. We've even included different topics up here that you can use to focus on, whether it's for your social media or your newsletters or your lives or whatever it is that you like to teach on that might be good topics for those specific months. Let's see, I know I'm just sort of plowing through all of these, but I want to give everybody a hot second I'm going to stop sharing for just a second to ask any questions that you have. I know that I've given a lot of information, but what questions do you have, whether it's with Trello or ManyChat or ClickUp or ECC or project broadcast, texting tools? I know that you're like, well, I have so many questions. I don't even know where to begin. It's probably where some of you are. But I want to give you a second to ask any if you have any.
Did you say that Twilio is one of those supported things for ECC?
So ECC is the only, when you say supported by, there's two different versions of ECC. They have ECC Pro, which is like their higher level version, and then they have basic ECC. Basic ECC, you're only buying the scripts, and then it's up to you what to do with them. You're not allowed to put the scripts in email or on social media, though. It's different if you're sending that through a DM, because that's considered like an individual message, but you cannot put the ECC scripts in like an email or a public social media post. Now, what platform is supported, like that they actually will link together with ECC if you want that, is a program called Shout. And Shout is they actually have all these scripts within the texting platform, so you don't have to manually drop them in every month. They are preloaded for you, and you can just say, I want this person to receive this script, go, and then it happens.
But that's a US based.
Shout is actually international. I just discovered that because we're just discovering Shout as well. Not just discovering, we're learning Shout over here on our own. This week we actually had a call with the owners of Shout, and they did a little mini training for us and showed us the back end, and we really, really like what we're seeing. So it has some really great potential. Shout doesn't only do texting, it also helps you with some of your shipping and things like that too. So there's a lot of different things that they can set up, bots and automation and drip campaigns. So I really like Shout. I can't speak to it experientially because I'm currently using Project Broadcast, which I think is also wonderful as well. And ManyChat also does very similar things. So it's all about finding a platform that you can use sustainably and that you feel like you can understand. But Shout is international.
Well, my ultimate goal is WhatsApp, right? Getting it into WhatsApp. And it seems to me that Twilio at this point is the only thing that can automate into WhatsApp. But
That's
you're
not
saying
true.
Shout can.
Shout doesn't go into WhatsApp, but ManyChat will.
Okay, we can talk about that another time, but I ran into obstacles with that, so.
Okay. Yeah. I know that they will link to Telegram, ManyChat, Instagram, Facebook, and a couple of others, but Shout is its own platform. It doesn't send you to another platform. Shout is the texting platform. So if you were trying to text people internationally, you can do that.
And one other question I had real fast is, one other question I have real fast is, you're setting up these campaigns and you're setting them up for a year at a time, it sounds like. But what happens when people quit or drop off or say, like just silently go away, but they continue to get these messages that would be totally irrelevant to them? How do you handle that?
I know some people that won't set them up for a year. Maybe they set them up for a few months at a time, or it's up to you to be following up with them. You don't want to just drop them into these things and then never have any contact with them. So it's on you to still have a relationship with them, have a pulse on where they are and what's going on. And so if it's a personal enrollment of yours, don't just drop them in and then forget about them. Still check in every month and see how they're doing, what's going on. And you should know if they've dropped off, because you're having that continued conversation with them. And if they do, then you just pull them out of all the different campaigns. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. Any other questions? Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So that was a lot of information all at once. And so I'm sure that all of you are like, how do I even get started with all of these? What even makes the most sense? And so if you're pretty techie, you could probably jump into these and figure them out. We've gone through a lot of different programs and platforms, but if you need specific support, again, I said in the beginning, we love system setup. We love helping people develop these. In fact, right now, we just launched this 8-week program that we're doing with a lot of essential oil leaders, where we spend 8 weeks with them actually customizing all these processes and setting a lot of them up for you. We spend a whole day just talking about, not a whole day, but a whole hour, setting up your customer process, another day doing your prospect, another day doing your builder, and another day talking about the back office and the different reports that you can run, and then dropping things into ClickUp for you and customizing your to-do list so that it's specific to how you want to run your business. And we also will set up some of these things for you, like ManyChat or Shout or Project Broadcast or your newsletters. Right now, a lot of people are finding it really helpful to have us help set up their newsletters for a year out, where we're helping them brainstorm what topics they like to specifically teach on. And we're mapping out their year's worth of content in newsletter format that can also be turned into postcards later or turned into text messages if they wanted to. So we had this 8-week program that's very individual and customized, if you would find that helpful. Or you can take pieces of it away and just use those pieces. You're like, I just need someone to help me set up my customer process. We do that also, and we can help you set that up in ClickUp and brainstorm with you what that would look like. So lots of different options and how we can support you, but hopefully this gave you a taste of what's possible and out there. Oh, and one other thing I did want to show you. There's this, a lot of people have been asking me about websites and which ones can I get a free website? And I actually have my website on Wovoto, and they have a freemium option for doTERRA people only. They actually have a partnership with doTERRA. So I wanted to show you really quickly before I jumped off what that option is. So Wovoto, if you go to meganlloyd.org, you'll see what my website looks like. It's built on Wovoto, but you can make yours look like however you want. But this free option actually includes one pre-made funnel that you could lead people to, like a sample funnel, for example, and then one promo email every month that you can send to up to 500 people. I believe you can have 500 people, 500 contacts in your free option with a newsletter that's in there already, a pre-made newsletter. You can there's the site builder that gives you access to a quick links page that you can drop into your Instagram bio, one active page on your site. It's not like a full site because this is a free version. It also includes one autoresponder. So let's say that somebody fills out the form that says, hey, I would love a sample. Then they get an autoresponder that says, great, you want a sample? Let's get connected and we'll send you, and tell us the following things so that we can send your sample. Or let's get on a call before we send your sample. However you want to do that, you can set that up. And it has a bit of a CRM in the back end so that you can keep track of your 500 contacts or so in that back office. But it's a free option, which is so cool. And then as your business grows, you can continue to build it higher if you need more pages or more automations or more things in the back end. But I wanted to make sure that you knew that that was available, because a lot of people don't know that that exists. Okay, a couple of things came in the chat. Let's see, how much is it to be part of the 8-week setup? That's a really great question. That's $3,000, and it's split up into 2 to 3 payments for that 2-month period. So it'd be like you pay part of it right before we get started, and then a month later, and then right before we're about to end. And it includes, basically the way that we're describing it is, it comes with a coach, myself, and then an implementer, which is one of my team members. Because a lot of people, they'll do one of these 2 things. They will hire an assistant and think that's going to change their life. And again, I'm a huge proponent of hiring, but a lot of people hire and don't have a plan. They don't know what to delegate. They don't know how to work with this person. They don't know what, they just don't have a plan in place, but they think, oh, because I'm hiring an assistant, my business is suddenly going to explode. And they have a misunderstanding of what hiring an assistant actually means and looks like. It can definitely support your business, but not if you don't have a plan and a strategy in place. And so you've hired the implementer, but you don't have the coach. And so with this program, I come in as the coach and I can teach you, even if you don't have an assistant, I can help you strategize a little bit more so that you do have a plan, you do have a foundation set up. So if you do hire in the future, you have a plan and tutorials that you can pass off to this person and say, this is how I run my business, and here's specifically how I want you to operate within it. I can't tell you how many people have asked me to help them get an assistant. They've hired that assistant and then they say, well, now what? I say, well, it's up to you to now tell them what you want them to do. And they say, well, I don't know what to have them do. I'm like, well, that's a problem. And so I think it's really important that you have a foundation in place before you hire. You don't have to have your whole business figured out, but you at least should know what you're going to delegate to them and have them do before you hire. So that's that program. Even if you're not hiring, you'll find that program incredibly helpful. We have a lot of people that we're working with that I would say are in like the silver and gold area. Also, we have some presidential diamonds too. So we have the whole spectrum. That just want that 8-week support, where we actually do some of the implementation on the back end and we do the coaching. So it's a kind of a robust program, and it's going to continue to increase in pricing
later on. Someone else also asked, Wovoto works with Shopify. No, Wovoto replaces Shopify, but you could put Shopify, like the links into Wovoto if you wanted it to. So it already comes with a web store in Wovoto, but that's obviously not part of the freemium option. So Wovoto, if you pay for some of the higher tiers, you can do courses, you can do a web store where you can actually sell items. It also includes like the newsletters and, oh gosh, all the different things, funnels, forms, blogs, like it comes with the whole thing. But you can, if you have a Shopify account, I've seen people still drop like your Shopify links and stuff into Wovoto, if that's something that you wanted. Okay, and then Elaine, I just saw your message. We can connect here in just a second about that. Okay, awesome. Any other questions before we jump off today? I hope that you found this helpful and not overwhelming. Please don't walk away and think like, oh my gosh, I can't do my business because everybody's doing all these things that I can't afford. Please just focus on what works for you and do one thing at a time. Don't eat the whole elephant at once and do what's sustainable for you. That's my biggest message with this is don't get overwhelmed in systems so that you get crippled and don't move forward. And we can help you with that if that's something that you're curious in. Jolene says, how can we get that set up for ClickUp? You mean the 8-week program or the like one-on-one setup? The board. So what we're going to do is we're going to email everybody who registered. We're going to send you all of the links to the board so that you personally can do what you want with them. But then after, if you are like, wow, I really need one-on-one support, I'll also include in the email my calendar link so that we can talk about what that would look like. Cool. Awesome. All right, everybody, you have a wonderful afternoon and we'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.